Super excited today. I actually got a package from American Crafts and Jane Davenport. She sent me some of her new line. It's a addition to the line that she already had in Michael's for me to take a look at. And so I'm going to be putting a few videos up showing these things that I got from her. She did not ask me to make a video. She just wanted me to try them out. So this is not sponsored. But I did receive the products for free, just letting you know. And for those of you who have been watching my channel, you'll know that I spent my hard-earned money on the other mermaid markers, on the watercolor sets. There was a bunch of her stuff from the previous launch that I own and I love, and so I'm really excited to try these new colors. And what I'm looking at today are her new mermaid markers. Now there are 4 new sets and she sent me 3 of them. And I'm gonna probably be buying the other set as soon as it shows up. Until then, I'm gonna look at these 3. And these 3 are the Shipwrecked set, which comes with 6 markers, and it looks like it's almost like jewel toned in some ways, or like deeper tones than the previous mermaid markers. And then the Celestial Sky set, which is, it looks like black, gold, silver, and white, and it's all shimmery. And then there is the Shimmering Sky set. I sound like Sean Connery, which is like teal, pink, like lavender, and like a darker blue, also shimmery. So there's 2 shimmer sets and then 1 regular set. To show you how much I liked the other mermaid markers, this is my second set of them. I bought a second set so that I would have them when I ran out of the other ones. So these are the color line from the original set. It's a very good, like, basic color range. So I'm gonna get right into these, and I will open up, and then the package has like a information little sheet that explains how to use them. I'm gonna go with the non-glittery ones first, since those are what I have experience with. Immediately I can see that there is a black, which is exciting. A black and a gray, which is awesome because neither of those are in the original set. And that is, come on, that is an awesome addition. They're vibrant, dye-based, non-light fast, water-soluble inks. And then once they're empty, you can use the markers as water brushes. And I have said in a previous review that the Jane Davenport, just the water brushes, are a favorite of mine. So I can imagine that these will be great to use as a water brush later. I'm going to get one of these started so you can see how to do that. It's getting rid of this yellow ring and then recapping it. Just for when you buy these, you take the yellow ring off, you put the thing back on, you close it down, kind of pushing, you'll hear it snap, and then you want to get it pushed down all the way so that it won't leak. And then what you want to do when you open it up is you want to like give it a little squeeze. You'll see some of the ink start to arrive in the, you can see it here, like it's arriving in the barrel. And then some of it comes out. And you just kind of work it until the brush gets a little saturated. And that's where you get it. That's how you get the thing started. Oops. Probably should fold this up. I am going to get the rest of these started and then we will look at the colors. One of the things I will tell you just from testing these is these colors are a lot deeper than the original mermaid markers colors. Those were like brighter. These are richer, like darker colors. And from what I saw, the other set that I don't have is much paler. So I feel like they're kind of on either end of the spectrum. So I'm going to write down as I work here the name of the color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to test out the color. I'm going to test out the color. I am going to give it, and I'm going to activate it with water to see kind of how it shears out. So this first one is the black, and it's called Shark's Eye. And that is a nice dark black. Now I'm going to grab a water brush. This is not my Jane Davenport. I have both because I didn't refill either of them before the video. So I'm going to activate this with water and just pull it out. Now, one of the things I love about these mermaid markers is just how reactive with water they are. Like, look how nicely that pulls out. So this is the gray, and it is called Stormy Seas. Now I want to see kind of how this goes different from the black, because often you can get a gray by just watering down a black. But notice that this gray already is warmer than the black. You can see kind of the warmer tone. So that makes it nice. And I was worried about that. I was worried about whether or not the black would make it so that it was redundant to have the gray, but it is not. I will notice one thing. The gray does not go quite as far, maybe because it's lighter and the black is darker. We have this blue, which is called Squid Ink. Ooh, that's pretty. It's a nice, like, dark, rich blue. Oh, and that shears out. There's a color in the watercolor palettes that I have. Not the new one because I haven't tried that yet, but like the Jane Davenport little watercolor palettes that is very similar to this, and that is a gorgeous color. And then we are going to try the green, which is called Kelp. Water this puppy down. That is really pretty. And then we have this kind of magenta color called Gills. It's like a magenta kind of purple color. Purple pulled a little more red than blue. That dried really quickly. I'm going to try that again for watering down. That dried faster than I was able to work with it. I'm going to show you then as an example. I'm going to add a little bit of this. I'm going to drop a little onto water. And that's a fun way to work with it too. You add that to the water and you see how it starts to spread. And then I'm going to take the water and just pull it down. That's pretty. I think I just didn't start it fast enough. The reason I think it dried so quickly was because I switched water brushes, because this one's pretty much out of water and then the tip of that water brush wasn't wet yet. So it wasn't awake. And then this red is called Octopus. Now this red is the one that was kind of curious to me, because there is a red in the original Mermaid Markers, and I would like to see kind of what the difference is. But that is a beautiful red. So I'm going to take a second and I'm going to grab my opened Mermaid Markers. These are my original Mermaid Markers, and I want to test kind of the colors on the complementary ones that are in this set. So this red on the left is called Lobster. And this red is the new red, and this is called Octopus. And they are different, as you can see. One of them is a little more duller, like this is a bright red, and this is more of like a brick red. Let me zoom you in case you can't see very well. So on the left is the old Mermaid Marker, Lobster, and on the right is the new Mermaid Marker, Octopus. Let's see if we've got another one. There's this guy. There really isn't a comparable color with this purpley magenta one. So, and there's no comparable gray and there's no comparable black. The other ones that might have a comparable color are the blue and the green. So there's these two blues that have very similar caps to them. And I'll show you a different thing too. If you look here, this is the original. You can see how jacked up it is from me dripping all over the place. But this was the original Mermaid Markers packaging. And this one has a clear sticker instead of a paper sticker, which might make sense if people were making them messy as fuck like that. So on the left is going to be Blue Bottle from the original collection. That is really liquidy. Let me work that out just a skosh, because that, I think more ink came out than I intended to, and I want it to be a better representation of the color. And you know, sometimes when you have too much liquid or paint down, that it tends to darken. So we'll try it here. There we go. That is more indicative of the actual color Blue Bottle. And then here is the new one, Squid Ink. The Squid Ink is darker. It actually kind of looks like what Blue Bottle looked like when I dumped too much color onto the paper. So I would say it is, God, there is so much ink all over this. I should have gotten more paper towels. It looks like it might be this one with more ink. It's not though. This is the color. So it's a naturally darker color. I would say that both of these, now you can see the difference is that these are just deeper in tone. There's 3 greens in the original Mermaid Markers. There's like a teal and then a green and then a light green. So I'm going to grab just the regular green and I'll just test that, even though this one is called Siren. This is the original green. And then this one is the new green Kelp. And it's different, it's darker, but it's not like even, I don't know if you can even see it on camera, but here it is darker, but I would say that the green of the 3 of them is the closest to the original color. We're gonna take a look at these shimmery ones. So there's the Celestial Sky set and the Shimmering Sky set. And so I'm gonna drop these out. They look the same, but the inside you can see, like, you can see the like opaqueness of the ink compared to like kind of how, maybe this is a better one. Ink just has, I can't even fucking, let me zoom back out. The glitter ones, the ink is a lot more opaque. This looks much more like ink, and this looks a lot more like what you would see inside a standard like glitter marker or whatever. So I'm gonna take a look at the little paperwork that comes inside these puppies, because I imagine it's a little bit different. All of the information on these looks exactly the same as the other markers, but I did look online and I saw that to activate the shimmer, instead of shaking up and down like this, you shake, like you sway side to side rather than up and down. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna get these all started, and then we will test out these puppies. All right, so I took a couple minutes and I wrote the names down. So I'm gonna go with the first four, which are from the Celestial Sky collection. And let me just say right off the bat, as you could see from my hands, what they said on the website about not wanting you to shake up and down, but to shake side to side, they weren't playing. Like when I shook it up and down as a test to hear that ball moving around to move the glitter around, it got everywhere. Like everywhere. Like this is a mess. This was 4 markers. So take that to heed. Sway side to side, not up and down. So this first set, which is the Celestial Sky set, is like some silvers and gold and so on and so forth. So the first, getting it all. I went and got some more paper towels while I was at it and refilled my water brush, and I am covered in mermaid marker, and so is my desk. This first color then is called Moonbeam, and this looks like the palest color of them all. So we're gonna lay this down. Ooh, that's nice and pale. I don't even know if you can see that on the, it's thicker than the other ink. You can kind of see the strokes in it, but like if I'm tilting it back and forth, I don't know if the camera is picking up, but there is a very, very light shimmer in it. And I'm gonna test this by pulling it out with my water. And see how it dilutes the shimmer down. Like, the shimmer, I guess I'll have to let this dry to really see. I'm gonna do this one more time though, because I feel like it's really pale, but I can see it. Like, let me add a little accent here to this blue. I mean, it's waking the blue back up again right off the bat, but then it's adding like the soft shimmer to it. This might be a really good accent color. So I'm gonna add, whoa, okay, I just shot some ink out. Hello, that's gonna happen. So that's how dark the color is when it is the least amount of diluted, and pulling it out. Where'd the red come from? Holy shit, I am making a fucking mess. That is a really pretty color. It is very light though, and I don't see it working very well on its own unless maybe you're working on dark paper, but I'm not gonna be testing that today because that is just another pile of fish I don't wanna get into. Okay, the Falling Star is the next color, and this is the gold. And that is a very standard gold color. Now let's see how this one works with bringing it out, because this looks thicker than the other mermaid ink. You have to work it a little bit more to keep it from drying on you. Just a little bit more. And we're gonna let these dry to really see how well the glitter and the sparkle, but it's a very, very faint sparkle. It is not like a glitter bomb. It is very much a like subtle sparkle, which I like. I have trouble controlling the amount of glitter, and I think it would be better for me to have less glitter than more glitter, but I'm gonna give this a little shaky shake side to side to get that glitter really activated. And this is Black Hole, which is kind of a dark, almost like gunmetal gray, and this is absolutely stunning. Like, look at that. It's just like a metal. It's metal on the paper. I don't know if you're seeing this in the lights, but it is like metal, like dark gray metal. And to blend it out, I want to see how this dries with the shimmer. And then we're going to go to the last color, which is the thicker kind of gray called Meteorite. This is like the true silver. Oops, well, I just spooged it out. Well, we'll work that out a little bit more. You see how thick this is? This plays out a lot like the Wink of Stella kind of metallic markers. It's really pretty. So I'm going to leave a lot of that out to see how that dries, but I'm going to pull some of this out with the water. And see that I can already see that it's hanging on to the metallicness. I think maybe you just have to work with more. And like if you look at this, the black, it's already drying out and it's metallic. I think maybe I just needed to shake up the gold a little bit more. I'm I'm going to test that really quick because the rest of these, the drying that's happening is already like showing the same shimmer. It's just like a diluted metal, but it is still, you're still seeing the metal. Maybe I just need to shake up the gold a little bit more. Let's try that. Let's see if I fucked up my experiment here. See, there's a nice thick gold swatch. And now I'm going to take my water brush and work that out. See, it looks different already. So I'm going to let that dry and we'll kind of compare it. I think maybe this initial one was kind of janky. Maybe I'll do the same thing with Moonbeam to see if I can get a better, more opaque original swatch before I test it out. But like, this is really pretty. Whoop. There we go. It's like a soft, cool toned shimmer. Okay, now while those are drying, that's going to be a lot of dry time. Let's try out the other set, which is the Shimmering Sky. So the first one that I've got is called Milky Way, and it looks like it's like a teal, kind of dark blue. Almost like a, I don't even know if teal's the right word for that, like a sapphire. Oh, that is sexy. Look at that. I'm going to zoom you in. I want you to see. Oh, can I zoom? Can I zoom? I don't know if you can see that because it is so dark, but it is like blue-black almost. I'm going to pull it out with the water. Oh, look at that color. Oh, that is so pretty. That is a beautiful color, and it is just so, the sparkle in these is just as like finely milled as the sparkle in the other set, but this, there's just something about that jewel color. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, the other one that I've got here is this greenish teal one called Aurora Australis. Now, I don't know if that's a take because Jane Davenport is from Australia, or if there actually is an Aurora Australis, but I was thinking Aurora Borealis when I looked at it. Oh, my goodness. This color is my like dream color. Oh, that's so pretty. Green, for those of you who don't know, is my favorite color. I don't work with it a lot because it's just not as popular on the online spaces, so I tend to work with colors I think tend to test better, but green is my favorite color, and that green with the sparkle, whoo! Oh, that's sexy. I think that green is very similar to the color Byron Bay. This is from the original markers. Byron Bay is a little bluer, but it's that same kind of tone, and this was one of my favorite colors in the original. Now, I had written down on the other side for the other colors, but this is not gonna dry anytime soon, so I'm just gonna write those down again. All right, so we're gonna go with Polar Lights, which looks like it's like the magenta type color. This is very, very similar to that last one. What was it over here? The Gills. Such a pretty color. Oh my goodness. The sparkle is just a lot more evident. Like the reflects, I don't know if it's because it's different colored glitter or what, but like each color's glitter just has its own kind of color personality that goes with that. But you can see here, I'm gonna move you up here with this meteorite, that the glitter is in the part that's diluted down. It's so pretty. But I will say that, and you can see it with all of these, when I zoom back out, you'll see that I feel like the glitter does still show when you dilute it out, but that it's nowhere near as pretty. So I will talk about that though when we get to the end of this here. So this is Planet Gliese, very similar to the Polar Lights, but this one is more like pale. And I think I did another one of my pour swatches where I didn't shake it first. So I'm gonna put this next to it and see if the shaking helps. This one is just a lot lighter than the other colors, but the reflection is still there. It is really pretty, and this sparkle's almost iridescent. And then I'm gonna dilute this out. All right, so let me zoom out really quick, and I'm gonna talk to you about these colors, these sparkly colors, and we will have a discussion about those, and then I will give you a little bit of my favorite ways to use these mermaid markers in general, even though these colors are new to me. Looking at the first set of sparkles, the Celestial Sky, which is the silvers and golds. I really love the look of them when they are not diluted. It's like a rich, opaque sparkle shimmer. It's so pretty. It's very metallic looking, like liquid metal, like Terminator 2, right? When you dilute it out though, it loses a little bit of that. Like I'm looking at this like gold that's dried and there's not as much And same with the black. There's a little bit of sparkle. There's not as much. Like Meteorite, you can see the metallic shimmer where it dried down mostly the same. But as soon as you start to dilute it out, you lose. You still get shimmer. You just don't have as much of it. So I think that they are beautiful. But that these ones are probably going to be a lot, like if you want to keep the super pop of shimmer, then you're going to want to not dilute them so much. If you don't want to, if you want to dilute them, like especially this gold is a good color for like a neutral, which is not really present in most of the mermaid markers. And that's going to be really helpful. But if you want that like really like hearty metallic shine, don't dilute them too much. Use them as accents or whatever the case may be. Of these colors, I would say that Moonbeam is probably my least favorite because it's the least pigmented compared to the other ones. I feel like Black Hole on its own is that awesome like steely dark like black color, like shiny black iron color, and I love that. But between Black Hole and Meteorite, I feel like this one just doesn't do enough for me in terms of shimmer to make it worthwhile compared to the rest of them. I would have maybe liked a different tone of gold or a bronze almost. I think a bronze would have been really pretty. But it is pretty. It's just out of the four, it's my least favorite. And out of the four, my top favorite's probably Black Hole because it is just so fucking gorgeous. So Meteorite's a close second. Now for the other set, the Shimmering Sky set, these colors, all four of them, like with, I don't know if you can see this. I can see it. I don't know if you can see this, but the shimmer, it, for the most part, maintains its awesome shimmeriness. Maybe it's because the Celestial Sky ones are more like metallic sheen and these ones are more glittery, but like the glittery sparkle, it stays. So I would say diluting these ones is probably an okay bet. My guess is the more diluted it gets, the more it'll stop being so shimmery, but these are not quite as diluted as some of these are, but it does much more so than the other colors. These really maintain their sparkle. And the colors just like blow me away. They're so pretty. Of the four of them, I'd say my least favorite is Planet Gliese, mostly just because these three are so rich and this one's a little paler. So it kind of is the one that sticks out to me. But of the ones that I love the most, this Aurora Australis one is just, it's my favorite. I love that color. I think that might be one of my favorite mermaid markers of all time right now. And I haven't even used it more than like a few seconds. So I'm going to show you some fun ways you can use them. If you put down some water first, for example, I'm going to take this water brush and I'm just going to lay down like a flat wash of water and I'm making it really wet. I tend to work really wet with these markers. That's what she said. Because I think it just looks so pretty. So I'm going to use one of these shimmery ones because fuck yeah. I'm going to take Milky Way and I'm going to just drop. I'm going to squeeze it just lightly enough to tap a drop off. And look, oh my God. And with the sparkle. Oh, I'm going to have to do that for Instagram. That is some sexy shit right there. But you see how it starts to spread out? The trick with water and water-soluble inks is that they go where the water goes. So I added some more water and I'm just going to tilt the paper and I'm going to make it move. And you can do fun things with this. And then if you want to go in with the water and like blend it out to where you want it to go, you can do that as well. But see how you can like work it out from the center and leave the center kind of dark. And then the farther out you work, you can drop more water onto it and it'll go where the water goes again. See, it just makes some cool effects. That's one fun way to play with these because you're dripping them out of water brush type situations rather than working on them directly with a wet paintbrush. Another fun thing that you can do is you can letter with these and then add some fabulous accent to them. So for example, I'm going to use Gills. Whoa! Okay, this one is moist. I'm going to get fucking paint all over myself today, aren't I? Okay, and I'm just going to letter the word hello because it's one of my favorites. Well, I'm going to do the H. So I'm brush lettering an H right now, right? Now, one thing you can do is just leave it and let the liquid kind of work its way out. And then what you could do is grab a different color. So I'll grab the red one. So what is this, octopus? And I'm going to start kind of up and like get my red going into it and then letter the next letter. And that way you're bringing the same color in and kind of giving it that gradient effect. And then you can do the same thing and I'll bring in a different color from the original set and I will bring in this pink. So this pink is called Starfish. And I'm going to work the pink in right here. This one, Now, one of the things you have to get used to is controlling the flow out of these, which I did not do a very good job of just now. I'm just going to leave the HEL, and I'm going to tap that off a little bit and kind of, but you see, that's one way that you can letter is to treat them as a gradient like that. Another thing that you can do, if you have like a acrylic block that you use for stamping, you can tap onto, like, whoops, my cord is everywhere. If you have an acrylic block you can use for stamping, I'm going to put a little bit of this metal color right here. And then I am going to take this black and I'm going to touch it into the metal like that. And as it works off, you can see that it goes from the metal to the black. And you can treat it the same way you would like a Tombow. And then you just want to clean the tip off at the end of it. The trick with these really is to get used to controlling the flow of how much liquid you want to come out of the pen at any given time. I tend to err on the side of more water and less ink, partly because I'm cheap. And then you can go back in and you can activate the ink with water and like build it out that way if you want to. They're a lot of fun. Once they're dry, they aren't permanent when they're dry. Once they're dry, you can go back in and wake it back up. The biggest issue is that there will be like the lines, those will have set kind of into place. Those won't be able to be softened, but you can create some fun like smoky effects. They're just a lot of fun. If you have any experience with water brushes, you'll be pretty good at controlling the flow out of these. You just have to remember that it is ink and it's water soluble. So as soon as it's on the paper, you can treat it. That's going to be the darkest it's going to be, is once the water. And if you want to layer it, like you want to go back in with the same color, shit, that's getting everywhere. You can layer it on top and notice how it's darker. If you can see that right there, how it's darker. Let me zoom in. See how it's darker? Oh my God, my desk is such a fucking mess. How it's darker right here on top of the letter where there's the second layer. Like any water activated ink, these can be a little translucent. And so you can layer on top of them and deepen the color that way. But generally, when the ink hits the paper, that's going to be the darkest it's going to be. So you have to think about working outwards from that. So I looked on the website, and at the Jane Davenport website, these are, I think, $32 for the 6-pack of the standard ones, what is it called? The Shipwrecked set. And it's also the same price for the other set that I don't have. And then for these 4 packs of sparkle markers, like the Celestial Sky and the Shimmering Sky, are like, I think, $26 American. She's Australian. For the set of 4. Now, these are not cheap. I said the same thing when I reviewed the original set. I don't know if these are coming to Michael's. I certainly hope they are because I think these are pretty rad. If they are, use a coupon. Don't buy them full price unless you really are okay with that. But I used a coupon for the ones I bought before because they were, these ones were, I think, $40 for the set of however many of them there are. What, 12? Yeah, there were 12, I think, of the original mermaid markers, and they were $40 for the set. And you bet your ass I used a 40% coupon. Not because I don't want people to be compensated, but because your girl doesn't have all the money in the world. If I was going to rank which set I would buy, like in what order I would buy them, I would probably buy them the Shimmering Sky first, then the Shipwrecked, and then the Celestial Sky. And the reason being is that even though the black is fucking rad to have, I have black India ink, and that, can do a decent job for a black, but these colors just have my eye. But these are a great addition to the other set because they are deeper, and I am going to go and buy the other set as soon as I can. And then this set I think is really pretty. I just don't think in my style of art that this is the set that I will get the most use out of. I have loved the shit out of almost everything I have tried from her line, and to me it's worth the money because they are really awesome and they have lasted me quite some time, and I have put them to pretty good use. These are, if you haven't seen in my bucket of markers, like these are beaten up. I put them through hell and they are standing up to it. So would I recommend? Absolutely. Just remember that A, there is a learning curve when it comes to using brushes like this where you have to control the flow of the liquid. And B, if you're going to buy them at somewhere like Michael's, and you can, use a coupon. Are you excited about these or any of the other things in her new release of her line? Because I certainly am. Let me know down in the comments. I am very appreciative to Jane and to American Crafts for sending me these to take a look at. I'm going to use the crap out of them just as I have all the other shit that I've spent money on in the last year or so from her line. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.